Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to talk about the index formula. Now, the index formula is a pretty cool formula. It's very similar to a VLOOKUP formula. If you are not familiar with the VLOOKUP formula, this is probably not the video for you. You should probably go back and look at that VLOOKUP video, and that will help you understand this one a lot better. So I'm just going to assume that everybody is familiar with VLOOKUPs and reference that a fair amount because it is fairly similar. So a VLOOKUP, as we know, one of the limitations is that the data you are looking up has to be in the first column of your data set that you select. Not so with an index formula. So what we'll show you here is using an index formula to look up Scott. So we're going to select our array, and then we are going to get our row number. Now we can just type in a number, but what I'll show you here is probably the most commonly used way of using the index formula, and that is with combining it with a match formula. So a match formula, got another video on that goes into a bit more detail into it, but what it basically will do is it will give us the position of a certain value within set array. So we're going to have it look up Scott. We're going to select the exact same length as we have for our array within our index, but make sure that you just select the column that has the data that you are looking up. So in this case is the name column. So we're going to select that. We're going to have it return the exact match. Close that parentheses for the match formula, and that is going to give us the relative row number. And then the last thing that we are going to do is give us the column number. So this will, we have 3 columns in our array. Whatever we put in, 1, 2, 3, it will give us the value that is in that column. So in this situation, we'll have it return the amount. So the third column, close that parentheses. And you can see that it will give us this 234 for Scott. If we wanted to change it to Tim, it will give us 41. Now, so basically, break this formula down for you. What it's doing is we have our array. It's returning the row of the name that we're looking up. So in this situation, it's looking up Tim and returning 2. So it is this formula right here is returning a 2 as the row number. And then our column, it is returning the 3. Now something to note is that when we put John in here, it is going to give us the first value of the John. You can see that John's farther down, but it's not going to give us those values because in this match, it's starting off looking at the top and finding the first value that matches that. So this won't work to sum everything. That would probably be a sum ifs in that situation. But the cool thing about index is if we wanted to add other values, we could change this and return the first column instead of the third column. So if we had other values, other unique values that we wanted to return for a specific person, we would be able to do that quickly and simply and repeatedly just using the index formula. So hopefully that helps you guys out. It's got some huge implications around array functions, more complicated things like that, but this is probably the simplest usage of an index formula, and hopefully that makes you guys' life a little bit simpler. Thanks.